Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside the guys Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, and gentlemen. Tonight we are going to be recapping AEW All In from the Cathedral of Football, Wembley Stadium, London, England, live and exclusively on pay-per-view. If you had Bleacher Report, if you had YouTube, if you had Fight TV, Thriller TV, if you had, or even traditional pay per view, if you had any one of those sites and was willing to put $49.99 down, you were able to get the access into AEW All In. And quite frankly, guys, I don't think there's going to be much arguments here. This was a damn good show. Definitely worth the $50 price tag. I know some people were a little iffy about it. Trust me, by the end of tonight, by the feeling that I have, that Florio has, that Michael Bullock has, I think we're all in agreement. This is go out of your way to pay the money and watch the replay of this event, because I'll tell you right now, in all attempted purposes, you could even make an argument this could be pay-per-view of the year. Like, it's there. It is definitely nipping at the heels at WWE for WrestleMania for the best show of the year. Premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, definitely within that range. So, with that said, we're just gonna dive right on in, like I said, and we're gonna kick this baby off, and let's kick it off in style. Obviously, there was a couple of pre-show fights that we did have at the beginning of the show. So let me just get that for you folks. I apologize. I am on my cell phone. For some odd reason, my internet wasn't really working, or my laptop is a little slower nowadays, but it is what it is. I'm not too mad about it. All right, so here we go. Okay, here we go. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. All right, so we started it off with a 16-man tag team fight. This is a pre-show fight now, so bear with me. It was Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Lio Rush, Action Andretti, and Top Flight, Darius Martin and Dante Martin, and they went up against the team of Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Anthony Ogogo, Arya Davari, Private Party, and Dark Order. And the Face Squad won the match in 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Then we had the second pre-show fight of the night, which was Tomohiro Ishii and Willow Nightingale going up against Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. And it was Nightingale and Ishii winning in 8 minutes and 10 seconds, which is important because now Willow gets to make the match. This was a stipulation match that's going down at All Out in 2 weeks from now. That Statlander and Nightingale are going to fight for the CMLL Women's World Title. Now, Willow Nightingale gets to create that stipulation. She gets to call the match as what she wants in that championship match. And lo and behold, we've just found out she will make that announcement official on Wednesday night on Dynamite. Then the final match that we did have was a 10-man tag. The Von Erichs, Sammy Guevara, Kaiser Horty, Shibata, and Dustin Rhodes. They went up against the United Empire and the Cage of Agony, and it was the Face Squad winning the match in 11 minutes and 10 seconds. So that ended the pre-show fight, but there was one little added caveat at the end. And that caveat was, well, Saraya came out, was all in a hissy fit, pissed off. Her family was there, oh, by the way, and was going to hold All In hostage. Well, that did not go well because guess who's back? Jamie Hayter is back in AEW. She came after Saraya, even got physical with Mama, and yeah, so it looks like Saraya and it seems like Saraya and Jamie Hayter are on a collision course. So then we started out the actual All In from London. And we started it with a 4-way London ladder match for the AEW Trios title. And the participants in the match were PAC and Blackpool Combat Club, Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli versus the Bang Bang Gang, the House of Black, and the reigning champions, the Patriarchy. The winners of the bout, 18 minutes and 50 seconds, and new AEW World Trios Champion, the Bastard Pac, and the Blackpool Combat Club. They won it all. Holy freaking crap. What a way to jump it off. Easily 3.5 stars, 3 3/4 if you want to be even that nice about it. It was a great matchup. Nothing more to say. History made, unprecedented crowning, and Anthony Florio, finally, the Patriarchy loses the belt. However, there is something else later on in the night, and we'll get into that. That's going to have us a little bit knit, as we would say. So, right now, new champions, great match to jump it off, and Claudio Castagnoli is a double winner, because not only that, but he did win a tournament in the CMLL about a couple of nights ago that guarantees him a shot at the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes, sir. And I'll tell you, MF, PAC missed last year's All In due to a potentially career-ending injury. Tonight, he made up for the disappointment, fending off Christian Cage to capture the AEW World Trios Championship alongside of Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta in a punishing London ladder match. The triumph was the culmination of a high-risk bout that saw several incredible bumps and spots, all equally dangerous and awe-inspiring. Juice Robinson stood out, taking several of those big spills, and even Mother Wayne played a key role at 2 different spots in the bout. But it ultimately came down to a miscommunication between Christian Cage and Killswitch that led to PAC's victory. This was nonstop action, the likes of which you send a message and set a tone. It worked and laid the foundation for everything to follow on the main card. I got to give this in excess of 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Incredible opener. So not much more to say on this. So Phenom, Michael Bullock, long time no talk to. Come on in. And
yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended indeed. But anyways, new trios champions, PAC, Claudio, and Wheeler. They win the titles. And what a great moment for PAC, winning it in his home country of England, especially after that potentially career-ending injury that cost him to miss last year.
Yeah, what a moment for him. Because like you said, last year, I mean, he had to watch it, I mean, with a potential career-ending injury. But now he gets the moment in front of at Wembley Stadium, and now he's the trios champion along with Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli, and it took a miscommunication on the part of Christian and Killswitch to make that moment happen. I mean, now this is definitely a way that you start off this All-In pay-per-view with a bang, and it was a big-time bang here. So 4 to 4.5. Let's move on to our next match.
It was for the AEW Women's title. The champion, Timeless Toni Storm, going up against Mariah May, winner of the bout, 15 minutes and 15 seconds, and new AEW Women's Champion Mariah May. And history made again. You can definitely make an argument for an unprecedented crowning, but I will openly admit, Anthony, there is a couple of moments that are not so flattering that I know you boys definitely had a bone to pick during the match. But not only that, but now if Mariah May is true on her word on it that if she's true of her word, I'm gonna say it, we might have a major league not so PG moment Wednesday night on Dynamite.
And oh boy, as a personal fan of Mariah May, obviously for the Drop Dead Beauty, I mean the heart that's definitely getting the heart racing a little bit there, no doubt about it. Just thinking about that, but me personally, that is. But all kidding aside, the best storyline in all of AEW concluded today in Wembley with Mariah May defeating Timeless Toni Storm to win the AEW Women's World Championship. An emotionally and physically intense bout started with an exchange of hard-hitting rights and lefts, built into some quality heat for May, and saw Toni Storm avenge her brutal betrayal by bloodying the challenger with a Storm Zero on the ring steps. Her love for May, though, proved costly as she hesitated to attack her with the same shoe that did her in, allowing the heel to take advantage of the opening with 2 running knees and a Storm Zero of her own to win the title. This was an incredible wrestling match, one that matched physicality with expert storytelling from 2 women who excelled at every stage of this months-long program. An instant classic. It will be one of the most buzzed-about matches on this card, as it should be. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Very good match. Another very good match on this card here tonight. So, outcome never a doubt. Great moment for Mariah May to win the title, yes. But there was one thing that she did in this match that not only rubbed me the wrong way, but rubbed Michael Bullock the wrong way. She slapped her own mother at ringside.
What in the freaking hell is she thinking?
Now, Excalibur did say on commentary, I'm not defending it, but Excalibur did say on commentary that she said that this was only the second time that Mariah May's mother was able to see her daughter wrestle an actual match. Second time. Do you think that might have had something to do with it?
Is there some genuine bad blood between her mother and her that we don't know about?
Possible, I hate to say the word, possible deadbeat parent, possibly?
I mean, I can't condone it. I'm not condoning her actions.
Absolutely not.
Like that's unforgivable.
Beyond
I agree with that. But we don't know the real story about Mariah and her mom. I mean, it also could have been just, maybe I think that might have been just an in-character thing to garner more heat. I think she might have told her mom, hey, I might just be a heads up. I might slap you. Just play along with it. But the thing is, it looked like there was some genuine hurt, like especially from her mother. But you don't know if she was acting or not.
Well, the only ones who know are Mariah May and her mom.
Yeah,
because we can guess all we want, but
yeah,
but the one thing I think we can all agree on, whether it was all part of the act or not, it's unforgivable. It's unforgivable.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't, in your right mind, you don't do something like that. That to me is that is committing an absolute sin right there.
And as Gorilla would say, and as Gorilla once said, an even bigger creep than people thought of her. Creep, first class.
You thought
Yeah.
that she was unhinged already?
Lithium.
She was more unhinged when she did that. And I'm like, what in the world are you thinking?
Yeah,
Whether it's an act or
the
not.
look in her eye, the look in her eye after she did that slap, you kind of felt like, oh my freaking God, what the F is wrong with you?
And another thing I think Gorilla would have said is Mariah May's mom should disown her.
Well,
Self-serving ingrate.
the thing is, again, was it part of the show?
Good
Was
question.
that meant for, like, is there genuine bad blood between her and Mariah, or was that part of the show that gave her more heat?
I would love to know.
That, I think that's the $1 million question, and like you said, the only people who really knows is her mother and Mariah. I would love to be a fly on the wall right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we could guess all we want. That's the
Yeah.
only thing we could do. But either
It
way,
is.
it's unforgivable and it's unacceptable.
I
What she
agree.
No
did.
or not. Whether it was part of the act or not.
Yeah.
Especially if it was not. So, but nonetheless, despite that, that despicable act, still an amazing moment. And you thought Mariah May winning the Owen last month in Calgary was the biggest win of her career, and we said it on that night. It was the biggest win of her career to that point, and we thought, could it lead to an even bigger win at All In? And guess what? It did. Regardless of how long Mariah May wrestles, this day, All In 2024, will forever be the biggest win of Mariah May's professional wrestling career. Far and away, nothing's ever going to top it. Nothing. You beat one of the best women's wrestlers in Toni Storm in Wembley Stadium at AEW's version of WrestleMania. Don't get no bigger than that, gentlemen. It don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. Congratulations, Mariah May. Great moment for her. So, Michael Bullock, despite that unforgivable act, we can't rain on her parade, though. She is now the AEW Women's World Champion. And Wednesday night, I can't wait to see what she's got in store for us. Me personally, I can't wait for it. But nonetheless, biggest win of her career. This will forever be the biggest win. No win further. No matter how long she wrestles, no further win is ever going to top this. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. 3.5, 3 3/4. I do agree with the rating on it, and yeah, definitely the biggest win of Mariah May's career. I mean, to win the AEW Women's World Title at All In at Wembley Stadium in front of over 80,000 fans doesn't get any bigger than that. Even though, like I said, with that despicable thing she did to her mom. Now, the only question I have is if she stays true to her word on that, how is AEW going to pull this off? Something that is non-PG. I don't know. I mean, I feel a little uncomfortable about this, Fletch. I mean,
yeah.
but
When I heard,
seriously, I don't know how Tony Khan and his group are going to pull this one off.
Remember the Dawn Marie when she got naked? Well, she didn't get naked, but she flashed, and the lucky guys who actually got to see it was literally the side where Taz and Michael Cole were at ringside. So,
well, yeah,
maybe they do it that way, where they show her, doing it going off that round and going that section. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
it's a.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this right now, Fletch, and I'm going to say this to any parent out there that's thinking of bringing their child to this Dynamite, especially if this is going to happen. I think it's best you keep them at home because
Well,
I mean, do you really want to see them to see Mariah May nude in front of them? I don't know.
I kind of have a feeling like somebody's about to show up right before she tries to go for it. I think we're not going to get it, or Mariah pulls the rug out from under us, calling us a bunch of sicko perverts, and probably berating the daylights out of the fans, saying that you ain't going to see the goods.
I would not
Sorry.
be I would not be surprised if she pulls that, with especially with the way she's become so unhinged.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna do it. I
And
think she's gonna pull the rug out from under us, boys.
probably give the middle finger to everyone,
Yeah,
saying like, "Oh, now you want to get on my bandwagon? Well, after you poo-pooed all over me, well,
yeah, true.
here's to you, MFers."
The thing is that the one person who I think would actually legitly do it and give the fans what they want, believe it or not, I think would be Timeless Tony Storm. I think if this was Tony, I think she does it. I think she pulls the trigger and do it. Mariah, because of who she is now, I don't think it's going to happen. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I would not be surprised. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens come Wednesday night.
It definitely got a lot. I'm just gonna say it, man. The sicko meter went up to 1,000 when I realized what had happened. I'm like, oh no. You know, every single freaking degenerate in the world is like, I'm gonna be getting lotion or something for Wednesday night. You bunch of perverts. Just get out. Get out right now.
In the immoral words of Michael Wilbon, get out.
Just get out. Like no. First off, I get it. Level of decency, all this other stuff, but no, guys, come on, get a life, grow up. I mean, I'm not.
Somebody deserves to get the mud hole stomped on them if they're thinking like that.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna say it is what it is. It's fair enough. I mean, storyline wise, okay, fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a very interesting situation, to say the very least. We're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. But oh my goodness, what type of fun or what type of craziness are we about to embark on? One thing for sure, it's going to be something else. All right, nothing more to say. All right, let's move on. Next up on AEW All In, it was a Hook going one-on-one with Chris Jericho for the FTW title. Winner of the bout, 10 minutes and 15 seconds. And new FTW champion Hook wins the belt back. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was never a doubt. I mean, we knew that this was going to be the outcome, because I'll tell you this, Fletch. I mean, if Chris Jericho had won and retained the title, oh man, everybody would flip out. I mean, because like we said in the preview, Chris Jericho is at the point of go away, especially with his whole "Hi guys." I mean, that's really getting on my nerves. But Hook had some help in this match. It was thanks to his father, Taz. And and because of that, he gets the FTW title back. So I'm gonna give this about maybe 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. So it's yours, Fletch.
I'm gonna go 2.5. I could go lower because I thought this match was bad. I didn't care much about the fight. The fans didn't care much about the fight. Did you see the photos of people walking out heading to the bathroom during All In.
That's
This
bad.
was, dude, this was the bathroom break for the fans at AEW All In. The lines for these guys going to the lube was unbelievable. I could not believe it. But it was real. It was genuine. It was legit. People don't care about Chris Jericho. They don't. They don't give a damn about him. They don't give a damn about his reign. They're glad it's over. They just want him to go away. I hate to say it, but that's the legit point. There's really nothing more to add. 2.5 stars. Anthony, go.
Yeah, I would have to say by default, this was the worst fight of the night here. Hook defeated Chris Jericho to regain the FTW Championship, marking his third reign with the title his father Taz introduced 3 decades earlier. The deciding match in this months-long feud relied heavily on interference from Jericho's lackeys, the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, and Big Bill, not to mention a considerable amount of plunder. The most notable spot of the bout came late when Hook trapped Jericho in the Red Room, and Brian Keith attempted to interfere, and then Taz, leaving the announce table, coming to the aid of his son like any good father would, trap Brian Keith in the Taz mission, which popped the crowd, and then watched as his son tapped out Chris Jericho to win the match and the FTW Championship. Hopefully, this is the end of this story and rivalry, and more importantly, hopefully it brings about a hiatus for Chris Jericho, because no one performer in AEW needs it more than he does at this point. Default worst fight of the night. I'll give it in excess of 2.5 to 3 for the effort. So not much more to say on that. MF, let's keep this championship party rolling, because every match on this card was a title match with the exception of one. And we move on to our next title bout.
The next title match for the AEW World Tag Team titles, the champions. The Young Bucks put the titles on the line against FTR and the Acclaim. And when it was all said and done, winners of the bout, 12 minutes and 5 seconds. And still, the AEW World Tag Team champions, the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. No big surprise here. This was exactly what we expected. I think us going in, we're thinking that this was going to be the way that it was going to go out. And unfortunately, this was exactly what we were hoping for. This was what we thought it was going to happen. The Bucks winning the match, successfully defending the titles. Obviously, EVP power, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, they worked a fine match. This was about another 2.5 to 3. I thought they did all right, but again, the outcome was never in doubt. So, Anthony, it's yours.
3.25 for me. The match was like the other multi-man team matches on the show, full of nonstop action and too many bodies. The action here was nowhere near as disjointed as some of the matches earlier in the show, but the chemistry was lacking. Still, there were plenty of fun spots, elevating the quality of the match. But after the match was over, the grizzled young veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake, formerly of NXT and briefly in TNA, hit the ring and stared down the retaining champions before they jumped and attacked FTR. The reintroduction of the critically acclaimed team further enhances a tag team division that is already brimming with quality tandems. While that is a good thing, teasing the idea of another multi-team rivalry over the tag titles is not the most appealing thing given the lackluster build to today's title match. But it's a 3.25 star match, teetering on 3.5, right around that range. But guys, let me just say this. Can you imagine the grizzled young veterans and FTR throwing it down?
Can
you say be a man's fight right there?
That could be interesting.
Oh, it will be. It will be. 3.25, teetering on 3.5. Michael Bullock, no big surprise. The EVPs retain their titles. But the grizzled young veterans, making the business has just picked up in the AEW tag team division now that GYV is all elite.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, what kind of an impact the Grizzly Young Veterans are going to have in AEW? I mean, and I'll say this, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me. WWE really mishandled them, especially in NXT. I mean, they were good at the beginning of NXT when they were the Grizzled Young Veterans, but to me, what ultimately killed it was when they, I don't know,
The schism
when they
Yeah.
rebranded them as the Schism
and the dyad with Joe Gacy,
with Joe Gacy.
and now General Manager Ava.
That to me was what killed them, and I think we all know who to thank for that.
Yeah.
Need I say more?
Yeah. No point. No point.
Yeah.
You're right. You got
Yeah.
it. You're. I don't think there's much of an argument on that one. I think you're absolutely right. Who is responsible for that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother saying his name.
No, because there's no need to. There's no need to.
Yeah, no need to at all. So, yeah, it's a 3 1/4 star match. I mean, the outcome was never in doubt, but yeah, you got the Grizzled Young Veterans and FTR battling out. That's one I'm definitely up for. So, nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right with most of it. I think they you definitely got what you want to talk about. I think you're absolutely right on certain elements. I think they did an incredible job. Yeah, I don't mind the surprise of seeing the Grizzly Young Vets showing up. I thought that was a nice little surprise for us, to say the very least. And yeah, I guess we'll wait and see how it plays out down the line. And well, here we go. So next up on the actual fight card, like Anthony said, from here on in, almost every match was a championship fight. Well, this was the Casino Gauntlet match where the winner gets a future AEW World Title match. The first man entered was, as you know, was Orange Cassidy. The second man to enter was Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker. Third person coming out, Nigel McGuinness. Yeah, Nigel makes his return to an AEW ring. Next guy out was Kyle O'Reilly. The fifth man out was Zack Sabre Jr. Sixth out was Roderick Strong. Number 7 was Mark Briscoe. Number 8 was Hangman Adam Page. Number 9 was Jeff Jarrett. Number 10, another surprise. A new signing to AEW. Ricochet makes his debut. Number 11 was Christian Cage. The final man to come out was Killswitch. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 26 minutes, Christian Cage wins it via pinfall by pinning Kyle O'Reilly to win it all. As you know, in the Casino Gauntlet, it was one fall to a finish. First man to get a pinfall or a submission won it all. Cage, Killswitch did the damage. Christian picked the bone and pinned Kyle O'Reilly to win it. I mean, all right, it was a fine match. You could say about 4 1/4, 4 1/2, but we all were saying it was Adam Hangman Page. We all thought this was Hangman. We thought Hangman was going to win this. And for it to be Christian freaking Cage, I got my thoughts. I'm not going to pull the trigger yet. I'm going to wait till later in the night. Because obviously I need to wait to give you the result for the World Heavyweight title fight. And then I'll play out my scenario. But I'm not happy. I'm angry. I'm pissed. I don't understand why AEW keeps forcing Christian Cage down our effing throats. I don't. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Just like Jericho, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean,
here's another man that's beyond the point of go away.
Exactly. Well, AEW promised the unexpected in the Casino Gauntlet match for a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And other than with the exception of the outcome, the company did not disappoint. First, we got the in-ring return of the legendary former Ring of Honor World Champion and commentator Nigel McGuinness. I think it's the first time he's actually wrestled probably since his days as Desmond Wolfe in TNA. I mean, and MF, we all remember those incredible matches that he had with Kurt Angle. Ugh.
Yes.
Awesome. Classics, all of them. Anyways, from there, we had a special appearance from New Japan Pro Wrestling star and the winner of the 2024 G1 Climax, MF?
Yes, he is. He now is guaranteed a shot at the G1 at the World Heavyweight title. He actually now fights Tetsuya Naito at the Tokyo Dome January 4, Wrestle Kingdom, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yep.
That's who it was. However, the most unforgettable moment came later when Ricochet, the man MF has always called half man, half amazing, made his AEW debut, entering through the curtain to a thunderous ovation and wasting little time showcasing his explosive offense. Despite all of the surprises that stunned the fans in London and some superb in-ring content that came about because of them, it was the arrival of Christian Cage late in the match that set up the finish. Luchasaurus emerged from the locker room as the final entrant, teasing that he had set aside the Killswitch moniker and was about to put an end to his relationship with the leader of the patriarchy, only to lay out Kyle O'Reilly and hand Christian the win and the guaranteed title opportunity. The finish was a letdown considering everything that preceded it. We had already seen more than our fair share of teases from the Dynamax big man that his partnership with Cage was about to come to an end, only for him to do what was in the best interest of the heel. It was wholly unnecessary. Christian could have stolen a win in any other form or fashion that would not have felt as repetitive as this did. I want to give this 4.5 stars, but I'm bumping this down to 4 to 4.25 for that ridiculous finish. The crowd came unglued for Nigel McGuinness's arrival, as they should have. It was legitimately one of the best and most rewarding moments of the show to see a decorated professional wrestler have that moment in front of his fellow country people. Jeff Jarrett received his own massive pop, an indication that fans' respect for the last outlaw will ultimately turn him into a full-blown babyface, something few could have expected from him in AEW. And even Karen Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett's wife, Karen Jarrett, distracted Hangman at one point, and then Jeff Jarrett laid him out with another legendary guitar shot of his to essentially take Hangman out of the equation. It's 4 to 4.25. I want to give it 4.5, like I said. If we had gotten any finish other than that, I would have given it 4.5. But it's 4 to 4.25. But despite it, I'm going to go on the record and say this was the best Casino Gauntlet match I have ever seen in the history of AEW, despite the BS finish. So there's not much more to say. 4, 4.25. Michael Bullock, like I said, if it wasn't for that ridiculous BS finish, this was 4.5 easy, but it's 4 to 4.25. But it's still the greatest Casino Gauntlet match I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it still is, but it's just the ending that really left a bitter taste in my mouth. I mean, we've seen this so many times from Christian Cage. I mean, how many times are they going to shove this right down our freaking throats? And another thing I'm going to ask, guys, when is Luchasaurus going to wake up and realize that he is being used by Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Mother Wayne of the patriarchy?
Yeah.
When is he going to wake up and realize it? I mean, if he's going to be a man, he needs to stand up to them and say, you know what? I'm done with all three of your BSs. I'm done carrying you guys. I'm going on my own. And if it means going through all of you, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because Christian Cage is what, to me, right, he is right now what was in WWE. And what was that he was best known for being?
A CLB.
Yeah,
Yep.
a CLB. That's what he is right now. He is a CLB. Because he wants the attention. He wants the spotlight. Nobody else but him. He's an attention grabber. And he'll do sick and disgusting things that'll... Yeah, I'm not even going to go there with that. I want to go off, but I'm not going to do that. The match was 4. I was going to give it 4.5, but that BS finish just really rubbed me. I mean, AEW does some things that really just rub me the wrong way. And this was one of them. I'm not going to say anything else. Otherwise, I'm going to go off the deep end on this CLB. It's your split.
I think I voiced my opinions about it too, so there's really nothing more to add. Next up we had was the American Championship, MJF putting the title on the line against Will Ospreay. The winner of the bout, 25 minutes and 50 seconds, and new AEW International Champion Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, gets the belt back. I guess, Anthony Flair, you can say, first off, major nuclear heat by MJF. You poked the bear big time, man. Very Americanized entrance. You absolutely got crapped on by the British. They do I couldn't in one way. I'm not surprised. The Brits don't like America. Let's be realistic.
Oh no!
It was a nuclear heat. It was bad enough. And as a matter of fact, if you remember earlier in the night, Martha Hart showed up, made some comments, and she talked about Canada and the United States, and the fans booed her.
Yeah, they did.
So,
I'll be honest, it rubbed me a little bit the wrong way because Martha Hart technically is a member of the Hart family, and everybody knows, especially you two.
Yeah.
You know the unwavering love and respect I have for that family.
All of us do. All of us do.
Mainly because of my all-time favorite wrestler, of course, Bret the Hitman Hart. But
in one sense, I was a little surprised that the fans booed her, but I think they booed her because of the fact that she was mentioning the United States and Canada. And I hate to say this, but there is a lot of patriotism. There's a lot of pride, especially on that side of the pond, that part of the world. And especially, I'm going to say it, legitly, U.S. and England, sometimes we do see eye to eye, but there is still some hurt feelings between the British and the Americans. So it's not all honky dory. It's not all rainbows and unicorns with them. There's still a little bit of some resentment and some bad blood. So am I surprised that there was some boo birds flying? Not really. But again,
let's talk about the match.
But I can understand the booing of MJF because of, hell, this is MJF, but
exactly.
Martha Hart, I thought they would have had maybe just a little more respect for her.
And as much as I love Martha Hart and I love the Hart family, I kind of felt that little moment was a trifle unnecessary, if I'm going to be honest with you. So
I was a little surprised that to see her. I thought there was a big announcement coming up.
Yes.
I thought it was like
Exactly.
there was a big announcement. I thought it was going to be that something was going to be connected to the Hart Foundation, to the Owen Hart Foundation, and
Mhm.
something that was
Mhm.
going to be like maybe next year's tournament would be done in the UK. Have like a UK tournament, something like that. But for just
would've
for
been
her
great.
to say, just for her to say hello, welcome. I want to wish you all the competitors the best of luck. I'm like,
Trifle unnecessary.
did you really need to have her come out to
Nope.
to do that? Really, Tony?
No.
I mean, you kind of
That's a
hung her
Tony
out
Khan
to
move.
dry, bro.
That was a Tony Khan move, without question.
Yeah,
And to put it to bed, trifle unnecessary. So,
I
but
agree.
anyway,
I agree. But
as
but
I
yeah,
always
go ahead.
say, in the immortal words of my man Jesse the Body Ventura, let's get back to wrestling, please. So, Will Ospreay made a successful homecoming tonight, defeating self-proclaimed AEW American Champion MJF and bringing back the AEW International Championship. The victory came at the end of a match that was every bit as good as one would expect and also hit all of the storyline notes along the way. MJF worked over the previously injured neck of Ospreay and late in the match appeared poised to steal a win via the championship belt to Ospreay's face. The resilient babyface fought through it, kicked out at 2, and remained in the fight. From there, an unknown competitor clad in black appeared, preventing MJF from utilizing brass knuckles. He removed the ski mask, revealing himself to be Daniel Garcia. Remember, it was MJF who put Daniel Garcia on the shelf when MJF turned heel. So the distraction set up a hidden blade, and Will Ospreay finished MJF, and he used the Tiger Driver 91 to win the match and the title. And you noticed MJF sported the Made in the USA Lex Luger inspired tights. Phenomenal. The reversals and counters in this match were extraordinary. MJF countered a Stormbreaker into a Crossroads for a 2 count. Ospreay returned the favor, catching a lariat attempt and transitioning right into that aforementioned Stormbreaker for a 2 count. Is there any move over the last decade that has been more devalued than the Canadian Destroyer? And the presentation of Will Ospreay in Wembley, both last year and this, has been nothing short of outstanding. The pyro from the top of the stadium hammers home the enormity of his star. To me, this was the second best fight of the night. I can't quite give it 5, but I'm going to give it in excess of 4.5 to 4 3/4 of a star. Excellent match. I have to say, it did not quite top the original, but it came very close. Let's just say that it came very close. That was the question that Michael Bullock had going into this. Would the sequel top the original? It almost did, Bullock. It almost did. Almost, but not quite. But it was still another excellent match. One other match on this show I thought was just a smidgen better. You guys know where I'm going with it. I'm just going to leave it at that. 4.5 to 4 3/4 of a star. Second best fight of the night. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't MF have MJF retaining the title here? Yep, he sure did.
Yep.
So I believe Bullock and I had this one. So there isn't much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Will Ospreay regains the AEW International Championship. That American title goes bye-bye. And thanks to the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels, the international title is back, and it's back where it belongs with its rightful owner, Mr. Will Ospreay. What a match.
Yeah, put that American Championship in the trash, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, because we all poo-pooed all over that title. I mean, that was an ugly belt, to say the very least. But 4.5, 4 3/4. Yeah, I mean, Ospreay regains the title, and yes, I mean, with the little assist from the returning Daniel Garcia, and now we know that Daniel Garcia, his intent is getting retribution on MJF, and we know these two are going to meet somewhere down the line. So, nothing really more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, the thing that I thought was going to happen did not happen. I thought Don Callis was going to show up. Did not. I thought Kyle Fletcher was going to show up to screw over Will Ospreay. Did not happen. So I'll openly admit I got this wrong. I thought that they were going to have MJF win the match. I thought he was going to keep the title because I thought that there was going to be a screwy finish. There was a screwy finish, but it was Daniel Garcia screwing over MJF. But the thing is, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be too angry or too whatever about Daniel Garcia showing up and helping Will Ospreay winning that title match. Even though MJF is going to probably gripe and say, wait a minute, I got screwed over. I deserve another shot at the title. So, I mean, this thing between Will Ospreay and MJF might not be done, boys. We might have to go another round here, but we'll see. But at the end of the day, no matter if you felt like the right man got it or the wrong man got it, it all matters is that we got a new champion, and his name is Will Ospreay. The aerial assassin gets the belt back. So next up we had was Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the TBS title. Winner of the bout, 17 minutes and 25 seconds, and still the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné. She won it, Michael Bullock. We had Britt. We thought this was Britt's moment. Mercedes denies us at the gate. Florio gets the victory on this one. We wanted this. We thought it was going to happen because of everything we were saying. And once again, AEW decides no.
To pull the rug out from underneath us.
Yep.
That's all I got to say on that. And yeah, you heard Florio with that Jesse Ventura laugh. Yeah, he was the one who went with Mercedes Moné. So, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to eat that slice of humble pie, Fletch, and enjoy it.
Second one for MF because he had MJF. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, well, this is only the first helping for me, so yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3.5 for this one. I mean, it was a solid match, but one thing I did like in this match, Britt Baker took a page out of Eddie Guerrero. I mean, she was going to use the title, and then all of a sudden she flipped it right to Camille and then dropped to the floor. And the referee saw that, and the referee told Camille, "Be gone." So, yeah, that was a nice moment, but in the end, it didn't really matter because the champ stays the champ, so nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
This is actually very interesting because of the fact that now it basically eliminated the excuse. It eliminated all the excuses for Mercedes. They made Mercedes look good tonight. And I'll openly admit, this is probably one of her better matches that she's had in a long time. Even though the internet is still piling on her, saying that, look, fine that she won the title, fine she won this match, but X, Y, Z, and everything else. And she earned, look, she got it. She won the match. She earned the right to still call herself the champion. We're not going to be too mad about it. Obviously, there's going to be some things she needs to work on, promo-wise, everything else. But other than that, I mean, we can't say go away. We can't do go away on Mercedes Moné. We can't. Because she has actually delivered in certain points. This was one of her biggest wins. She took down Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Now, there is a lot of people start yelling and screaming like, oh, but she's got creative control. No wonder she went over. Hey, look. I get it. But she won. There's nothing more that we can say. Yeah, did I want Dr. Britt to win the belt? Yes, I wanted her to get the belt back. I wanted her to be a champion again. She hadn't been a champion for 2 years. This used to be the face of AEW before she got hurt. So now they gave it to Mercedes. She got it. She kept it. She won. Good for her. Now let's see who's next. That's going to be the main thing. Who is going to challenge for AEW's TBS title next? We'll find out. Anthony Floyo, you can wax poetic. You got this one right. I know, and I know you, and I know you were like, man, I cannot wait for this show. Boy, am I going to let these boys have it.
Well, let me get the obvious out of the way. Ha ha. Yeah. And I asked the age-old question, gentlemen. Who had this one?
Yeah, you did. You called it.
I believe I had this one. Yep. Okay. All right. All kidding aside now, let's get into the business at hand here. Mercedes Moné and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, had the unenviable task, and I do mean unenviable task, of following up MJF and Will Ospreay in front of a crowd already 5 hours into the show, counting the 0 hours stuff. They did their best having a quality match that struggled to get the fans to invest in it. And Moné worked over Britt's injured back, punishing her in an attempt to take away her core and power advantage. Britt fought back, but struggled to muster sustained offense as Mercedes controlled the pace. Later, as she mounted a comeback, like Michael Bullock said, Britt Baker did her best Eddie Guerrero impression and got Camille ejected from ringside. Even with the odds in her favor, though, the challenger could not best her opponent. Moné delivered the Moné Maker, and scored the pinfall victory to retain the TBS title. The effort was there, but the chemistry was off, and the crowd really struggled to get into it. Perhaps it was the one-dimensional nature of the story that accompanied it. Whatever the case, it was a good match that never really reached that quote-unquote dream level expected when the matchup was announced. So the crowd was not along for the ride with this match like it had been for everything else. It could have been the reflection of a long, exhausting card, or proof that they did not buy into this program despite its dream match nature. So, but I'm still gonna give it a good rating here. I'm gonna give it right around 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. They tried, but they were just in such an unenviable position. I mean, you asked these two to follow MJF and Will Ospreay. That's a bit of an ask, as far as I'm concerned. 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. So I believe we move on to our next match. Is that right, MF? Has everybody gone?
Yeah, everybody has indeed gone. Now the next match is for the casket match, as it was Jack Perry going 1-on-1 with Darby Allin, and when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 17 minutes and 2 seconds, and still the TNT champion, it was Jack Perry, as he stuffed basically stuffing Darby Allin into the casket. Yes, there was help by the Young Bucks. Let's be realistic. The Bucks did help. Stuffed them in the casket, closing the lid that ended the match. And then they tried to do something stupid. They tried to light the casket on fire. They had the gasoline. They poured it on the casket. And they were about to set it ablaze until Sting showed up, and, well, let's just say Sting had enough. Basically, Scorpion Death dropping the EVPs, and then little Jack Perry, the scapegoat, ran like a little bleep away from the whole thing. Thank God Sting was able to open the casket and get Darby Allin out of there. That could have been all kinds of wrong, if you say the very least. So, I believe this goes to Michael Bullock. It's yours, Bullock. Holy cow, what a match this was.
And the correction, time of the match was actually 10:40, not 17:02.
Yeah, because of that now, I'm going to give this maybe 3.25 for this one. I mean, it was a good match. But obviously you knew the EVPs were going to help Jack Perry because obviously Jack Perry can't win it on his own. And then, like you said, they tried to do something stupid. Like you said, trying to light the casket on fire. Some would say that Jack Perry is justified because, let's face it, Darby Allin tried to set Jack Perry on fire, so those fans out there feel...
Two wrongs don't make a right. Okay, fine, whatever.
Well, I'm not trying to say that it's right. It was wrong for them to do that. But there's going to be some people out there saying, hey, Darby Allin tried to do that to Jack Perry.
Actually, he did get away with it. He did set him on fire, so okay, fine.
Yeah, but Sting basically came out and took out the EVPs, and he was going to take out Jack Perry, but then Jack Perry ran like a little bitch. That's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, like you said, there's some people out there that's gonna defend Jack Perry, saying, well, he that Darby, he broke the blowtorch and actually set Jack Perry on fire at first. So basically, it was good for the goose, it's good for the gander, and everything else. All right, fine if you want to do that. The only reason why he actually set him on fire was because the guy was going to try to do something to Tony Khan, for heaven's sake. So, I get it. Two wrongs don't make a right, but still. I wasn't batting an eyelash when Jack Perry got lit on fire, just as much as I wasn't batting an eyelash when Jack Perry got blasted in the head with an unprotected chair shot. So, look, I'm sorry. You said all this shit about AEW. You're getting what you deserve, in my eyes. So, that's my personal opinion about the whole matter. So, at the end of the day, it was a fine match. It was a 2 to 2.5 stars. Nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
3.25. Jack Perry handed Darby Allin his first loss in a coffin match in London, retaining his TNT championship in the process. The Scapegoat overcame an early onslaught by Darby, who had thumbtacks glued to his face and neutralized him. He bound his hands together, then his feet, tossed Allin off the ramp and through a table below. And despite one last gasp attempt by Allin to mount some comeback, Perry was able to put him in the coffin and close the lid for the win. Afterward, the Young Bucks appeared with a gas can and doused the coffin in a flammable liquid. Before they could escalate the situation, the lights went out and Sting made his way to the ring. He laid out the Bucks while Perry escaped. From there, the Icon helped Allin and stood tall to cement his return to the company. This very much felt like a match that was shortchanged on time. It felt like a Cliff Notes version of a Darby Allin pay-per-view bout rather than the wild, chaotic brawl that we have typically seen out of him. Maybe that was always the plan, to put Perry over strong. If so, it worked. So, Sting returning to save Allin always felt like a possibility, given the numbers disadvantage. How that affects things moving forward, if it does at all, remains to be seen. The pacing here was all over the place and potentially the result of the time constraints. So, I don't know, but 3 to 3.25 stars. And MF, I do believe it's main event time.
It is.
It's main event time, and this was the match that Michael Bullock and I had the most vested interest in, and you know why.
Yes, it is. It was title versus career for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It was Swerve Strickland putting the title on the line against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, the winner of the bout, in 26 minutes even, and new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. He wins the title. He stuns the world. History made, unprecedented crowning. And look, it was a great main event. You could give this about 4.75, close to 5. If you want to give it the 5, I'm not giving it the full 5. I think they needed to go maybe 5 more minutes. If it went over 30, then you get the 5 for me. 4.75. Feel good moment, emotional moment, tears of joy, tears of pride. The scene at the end was beautiful. Danielson, yes, a bloody mess. With his wife, with the 2 kids, that was an incredible moment. To see the tripod confetti going off, the pyro shooting over on the roof, above the roof of Wembley Stadium was a magical scene. Great way to close the show. I'm happy. I'm proud. Yes, it was a great moment. He deserves it. I get it. But let me bring reality to a lot of the fans. All right. Now, and this is why I said I wanted it the moment and I wanted it to talk, because there is something that needs to be addressed. Now that Danielson is the champion, congratulations. Well done. He's now got to fight Darby Allin at Grand Slam, Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. This is where I think the title is going to change. But hear me out. Hear me out. I don't think it's going to be because of Darby. I think it's going to be because of Christian. Now, I know everybody's like, wait a minute, hold on. Why? What's going on? This is why. I think Christian is going to pull the ultimate opportunist moment. And knowing that he has the EVPs in his back pocket, because you know the EVPs do not like Darby Allin. We already know that. I don't know how the EVPs feel about Bryan Danielson. And this is the layout that I'm going to do. I think what's going to happen is this. You're going to have Darby versus Danielson. I think they're going to have a great match. You could probably push this about a half an hour, maybe an hour long. Okay? Danielson wins. I think what happens is the Elite shows up. They lay down, they beat down Bryan Danielson. They beat down Darby Allin. Christian Cage shows up with the patriarchy. They demand an AEW title shot right there now. The Young Bucks, they're like, you know what? Let's do it. Get us a referee, ring that bell. Right then and there, Christian Cage takes the AEW World Heavyweight title, sticks it to Anthony Florio, sticks it to Michael Bullock, sticks it to me, and every single fan of AEW, because why? Because the Elite wants the power. They've already made it abundantly clear. They like Christian Cage. They like the patriarchy. They're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that one of their own is a champion. They don't want Tony Khan's guys. I know Bryan Danielson is a Tony Khan guy. He made that abundantly clear tonight when he was doing that press conference media scrum at the end of the night. So I know the EVPs got this planned already in their head. We're going to push Christian Cage to that championship belt. Now, there's only one man that could screw this whole thing up for Christian Cage. We haven't seen him in about a couple of months now. A certain rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. Now, if he shows up, all this goes for naught. But this is my layout right now. And I'm putting a lot of stock on this. So Take it for what it's worth. Take it for what I'm saying. But if I get this right, I'm freaking Nostradamus on this. Florio, it is yours.
Well, unlike your rating, MF, I'm actually going to pull the trigger, and I am going to give this the 5-star rating and call it the fight of the night. Bryan Danielson won the AEW World Heavyweight Championship in the closing moments of All In, defeating the seemingly unbeatable Swerve Strickland to claim his first singles title in AEW and preserving his in-ring career for another day. And by golly, it was not easy. Danielson overcame damage to his head and neck, including a proverbial crimson mask caused by a focused and relentless Strickland. Everything he threw at the champion, Strickland literally or figuratively brushed off. Seemingly unfazed by the offense of the American Dragon, the turning point came when Hangman Adam Page jumped over the guardrail and attempted to interfere. The distraction allowed Bryan Danielson to fight his way back into the match, but did not guarantee him victory. Instead, it was a Busaiku knee to the back of the head and the label lock with a little joint manipulation thrown in for good measure that allowed Danielson to get the win and win the title. It was a phenomenal match, one that lived up to the expectations with some strong story beats in the form of Strickland's continued willingness to get personal with his opponent's family and Hangman's interference. The post-match celebration was special and made the Danielson victory feel like one of the biggest moments in the history of the company, which it is. How long we have the new champion for, as his health continues to weigh on the length of in-ring time he has left, remains to be seen, but he is a competitor who long ago earned the spotlight and championship that today's victory provided. Strickland delivered a Death Valley driver on the apron, headfirst into the ring bell, damaging Danielson's neck. The champion trash-talked Danielson's daughter, Birdie, telling her he was about to make sure Daddy was home permanently. The ringside physicians were called into the ring to check on Danielson at one point, but Swerve chased them away. And Swerve absorbed everything Danielson threw at him and dusted his shoulder off. And that's really all there is to say on that. So, for me anyways, 5-star classic. This was the fight of the night. And hey, myself and Michael Bullock, we got the outcome we wanted. We wanted Danielson to win the title. He got the title. Special moment. And now the interesting question is this the biggest win of Bryan Danielson's career? Does this top WrestleMania 30?
I gotta say no. I think 30 is still bigger. I think 30 is still bigger because of the magnitude, because of everything he had to go through.
2 matches.
Remember, he had to fight twice in one night.
This is true.
I mean, I mean,
maybe second biggest.
This is second biggest. I just can't call it the biggest. I disagree.
Okay. No, fair enough. So, so there isn't much more for me to add on to this. So, 5 stars, fight of the night. Yes, and there isn't anything else left to say except Michael Bullock. The yes movement is alive and very well. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh man, what a moment. I mean, the career of Bryan Danielson continues as he wins the AEW World title with his wife, with his kids at ringside. And boy, I mean, this to me is what it's all about. I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, what a moment to end the show. And yeah, there were times I thought it looked like it wasn't going to happen, but man, Danielson got it done. He finally fulfilled his promise of winning the AEW World title. And there's really nothing more for me to say. I'm gonna give it 5 stars as well. I don't care what anybody says, but man, Fletch, I mean, if that prediction you say comes true, oh man, Christian Cage is gonna get big time heat, and not in a good way. I mean, part of me hopes it doesn't happen, Because, look, I don't think this is the way Bryan Danielson wants his wrestling career to. He wants this to end like that. If he wants it to end, and that's somebody to take the title from him fairly. But unfortunately, with the EVPs, it may not even happen. So we'll wait and see. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, overall review. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
All right, AEW All In 2024, the biggest show of the AEW calendar, delivered. Toni Storm and Mariah May stole things from the second spot on the card, delivering a classic, story-driven match that created a new star and propelled the women's division forward. Will Ospreay had his moment in front of his fellow country people, defeating MJF to regain the AEW International Championship. We had the big return of Jamie Hayter on the 0 Hour pre-show and the AEW debut of Ricochet in the Casino Gauntlet match. Throw in strong in-ring content up and down the card, and you have a triumphant pay-per-view extravaganza for AEW at a time when it has found itself under scrutiny. How it builds on the momentum it has following today's event, in time to turn right back around and deliver a quality all-out pay-per-view on September 7th, is the question Tony Khan and company will have to answer next. This is easily in excess of 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Incredible pay-per-view. For me personally, the main event and the ending of this show was well worth the price of admission alone. So there isn't anything else left for me to say. 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Michael Bullock, another great all-in, capped off by the victory that you and I, more than anybody else, wanted, with Bryan Danielson winning the AEW Heavyweight Championship. So it's a 9, 9.5 for me. What says you?
Yeah, 9, 9.5 to me as well. I mean, like you said, that title and the ending, and it was definitely worth the price of admission. So there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, you have the final say.
Yeah, I would say about a 9, definitely. Going into it, it was about 8.5 to 9. So yeah, I mean, they did a really good job with it. I thought they did. It was fine for what it was worth. I think they did an incredible job, and yeah, at the end of the day, the right person won. So I mean, it was a great show, no doubt about it. So, all right, guys, so we're out of here. We're done. I will say this, y'all. Now things are gonna get very interesting. First off, we do want to let you guys know that there will be no show tomorrow night because obviously myself, Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, we're heading off to Monday Night Raw. We're going to the Amica Mutual Pavilion, which is in downtown Providence, Rhode Island. So we'll be there watching the show. We're so excited for it. And yeah, so we're gonna do that, and that's gonna start tomorrow. Then on Tuesday night, we will come back. We will recap that particular show. Anthony will have his Tony's take. That will be at 10 p.m. Wednesday night will be another edition of Wednesday Night Madness at 10 p.m. That's where we'll do AEW Dynamite, NXT for the usual. Thursday will be the first episode of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. Top 25 edition, y'all. All the games, all the top 25 matchups. We will run it down. We'll give you our thoughts, our predictions, the whole 9 yards. Friday, we're back for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. And that will be it for our week. So until then, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. Until then, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you all on Tuesday. Bye-bye.